Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm actually going to do a review on the 100% Pure Bamboo Powder. Now I've had this since January. If you watch me you'll know that. I haven't had to pick up a new one yet. I have been using kind of the Hourglass every so often, and obviously with quarantine and before I started my new job I wasn't really wearing makeup every day anyway. I'm also going to do a wear test for you to see. I'm going to film it tomorrow so I can kind of do a wear test at work, but obviously you'll see it in this video. A few things just to note before I begin. My skin type is oily. Oily combination actually. As you know, if you watch me for a while, I always use the Hint Beauty Concealer as my base product. So I'm kind of... The review and test is also based kind of alongside this, so it'd be interesting to see what this is like when I get to try the Ilia SPF skin tint. So my review and wear test of this also kind of, you need to take into account that I only use this one, so that's kind of, I haven't tested it with a lot of other base products is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to apply it to my skin, talk through what I like and what I don't like. There's actually really only one con to this for me anyway, but like I said, I've only used one base product with it before really. And then I'll insert the clip of me applying it in the morning tomorrow before I go to work, and then coming back, because my day, I mean I leave my house at 7 in the morning, I tend to get back, sometimes it can be 7 in the evening, hopefully by 6 usually, so it gives it quite a long time. I don't do any touching up throughout the day or anything like that. I'm just going to apply some base products whilst I talk about the powder and give some background information on it and stuff like that. So I am going to go in first of all with my bronzing tint from Dr. Huska, and then I'm just going to go in with the Hint Beauty Concealer. I'm going to pop this all over just so you can see kind of how it looks all over the skin with the powder and stuff like that. So yeah, so I got mine off Naturissimo, which is where I get a lot of my clean beauty stuff alongside Love Lula. So this retailed for £36 on that website, and you get 5.5 grams, which I think is a decent amount of product. It is a kind of sifter, so you push it down to get the powder out. It's a really secure packaging, so nothing leaks or anything like. So the description for it is a smooth as silk translucent finishing powder that blurs imperfections and makes skin appear poreless, and completely flawless. Formulated with 100% antibacterial bamboo silica to keep skin fresh all day long. This powder controls shine and helps make makeup last longer, giving skin a soft, focused finish. And this is actually aimed for oily skin types, so I think that's probably why I like it so much and it suits me well. So okay, clicking on the ingredients tab, it just says bamboo silica on there, which I don't know, is that... Oh, and yeah, on the back it just says bamboo silica on here, so that is the ingredient for it. Let me Google what bamboo silica is. So it is an essential metabolic mineral, especially for calcium and increasing the density of bones, teeth and gums. It forms the basis of connective tissue that holds organs and tissue together, as well as maintaining the stability of the ligaments and tendons to keep joints flexible. Okay. So that's what bamboo silica is and what it's for, and that is what this powder is made of. This is a very, like it says, it's a very finely milled powder, and a little goes a long way. It kind of does remind me of the RMS powder that I had, except it's a lot easier to work with. So with that one, if you remember me using it, I did say that sometimes, because it's so finely milled, it does kind of leave spots on the face that you can see visibly, not like in photos, but like just kind of on the skin where it's kind of, you don't blend it enough, it will leave like a white residue. Now this one is almost a very similar texture, except it's a lot, doesn't really leave that white residue like the RMS one did, which is why I like it. It definitely blurs the skin for sure. It makes it look so much smoother, and in my opinion it holds my kind of oils in place really well. Like I said, you'll see the wear test and stuff like that, but obviously bear in mind my kind of work life has gone from very active to kind of more sedentary office type job. So obviously, like I said, my oils don't come through as fast as they do anymore. But yeah, it sits beautifully on the skin. Like I said, little goes a long way, which I agree with for sure, which is why it lasted me so long. Obviously, like I said, before I wasn't working in quarantine, I didn't really wear makeup every day, so it wasn't essential then, but it definitely works well. Right, let me just finish. I'm going to quickly add a bit more concealer kind of on my blemishes under my eyes, and then I can get on and apply the powder to my skin. This is what my skin currently looks like with the concealer everywhere. As you can see, it does give a very dewy finish to the skin and stuff like that naturally because it's a cream. But it sits beautifully on the skin. It shows my freckles still through, even though like kind of things are covered, although I didn't do a very good job of covering. I don't know if anyone else has this, but I always have texture here. No matter how much I try and exfoliate, I always have texture between my eyebrows. Okay, so that is my skin. Now I'm going to apply the powder to half the skin so then you can compare and see the difference between the two. So I'm going to start off with a setting brush because I like to use quite a dense brush to get underneath my eyes and my T-zone just to really kind of secure those in place, and I go a much fluffier brush for the rest of my face. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this, and I do like to tap off as much as possible, but I'll do this side. And what I like to do is I like to pat on the powder. It just makes sure there's kind of less disruption with the concealer underneath, and also just really presses the powder in to the product. And I will mention about the con in a minute, but I just want to apply it and kind of get through my things I do like about it. So I will then take it down the side of my nose, and I make sure I get in my nose crevice there because that's somewhere where it, like concealers or foundations, whatever, can bunch up in there, if that makes sense. So I do like to get right in there and set that. Obviously I'll do my whole chin because it's a bit hard to do half a chin. And then I'm going to go ahead and set my forehead. So you can see it definitely mattifies kind of the skin. You can see it really there. But it does give a nice smooth finish to the skin, I think. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a fluffy brush now. Pick up a bit more product. Still tap off and just then buff over the rest. Because I can kind of get away with not setting the perimeters too much because my oils don't tend to come through there. Now you can see there is still like a slight shine through. That's because obviously the concealer is quite a creamy texture, but I like that because I don't like a flat base. I'm someone who does prefer the kind of glowy skin despite the fact I've got oily skin, so that I do actually really like. It's more kind of my T-zone. I do want the more mattifying effect. But okay, so that's half the face done. You can see it's definitely smoothed things out. There is still shine, but it's not kind of really kind of shiny like this side, as you can see. Really beautiful. Still looks very skin-like, not heavy on the skin at all. So that I really do like. And yeah, it's one of those powders that doesn't feel like you've got anything on your face, which I think is a great thing. So yeah, so that's the two sides. You can see still very pretty on this side, but just very shiny. And then you go to this side, it's still got that shine, but it's more set and smooth looking. Stay in focus, please. And yeah, overall still looks really nice. So yeah, that's the half and half. So I'm going to go ahead and set the other side of the skin. So yeah, I just like to pat on. Okay, like that. So my skin is completely set. It doesn't look completely flat. Like I said, you've still got that slight shine coming through, which I really like. Obviously, I'd want to add a bit of bronzer and blusher to kind of add some kind of depth to this skin, because I went quite high coverage or high coverage-ish on the concealer front. But it definitely gives a smoothing effect, which I really like. It's not heavy on the skin, it doesn't feel heavy either, it doesn't look cakey, and it's just a really nice kind of, yeah, smooth texture to the skin. Okay, I'm not going to add too much more to my skin. I'm just going to go and add some bronzer, blusher and highlight to show you how smooth they kind of go on top of this powder. I'm not going to bother with eyebrows or eyes today because it's more like the powder's focus today. Obviously my Sculpt and Glow contour kit, and I actually tend to use the same brush as I've used with the powder, because it will still have some excess powder in, and it just makes the blending process really nice, and it kind of all melts together. I'll use the same highlighter, and then just taking some blush. Okay, so yeah, everything kind of glides on really smoothly on top of that powder as well, so that's a real great factor to take into consideration. Now, the one con that I have with this is because it is so finely milled, it does give flashback. So if you're using flash photography, it will show up on photos. If you're just using normal photos, it doesn't. So like my thumbnails, I don't use flash, I just take it normally, and they never have flash, it never kind of, you don't see the powder on the skin. Flashback, because it's so finely milled, I feel that's why it does give some flashback. So that is my only one con. So if you're at weddings, although it'll hold up your makeup really well, there is a possibility of flashback. So that is just the one con that I do have with this. But apart from that, I really enjoy it, and like I said, it's really smooth on the skin. It sets really well, but it doesn't make my face look flat, which is great. It doesn't feel heavy, doesn't look heavy or cakey. I just think it was a really nice finish to the skin. So that's kind of my review on it. Obviously I'm going to insert in a second the wear test, but because it's going to be so early in the morning, I probably won't necessarily talk, or if I do talk, it'll be very quiet because my housemate will still be asleep. And also I don't want to wake the dog up as well until I have to. Okay, so I'm now back from work and the time is, it's almost quarter to 7. So I didn't touch up throughout the day or anything like that. I never bother whilst at work, there's just no time. And as you can see, I am shiny for sure, but it was an extremely hot day today. This past week has been very hot, so, but I don't look really oily or anything like that. It doesn't look kind of like, yeah, an oil slick. It's just like a natural glow that's coming through. My skin still looks nice. There's no like, you know, sometimes at the end of the day it can cake up into, sometimes that doesn't happen with this. It still looks smooth, pretty, and if I were to go out in the evening, not that I can really right now, but if I were to go out in the evening, all I would do is touch up my spot areas, a bit more concealer and maybe a little bit more powder, and I'd be happy to go. Like, I don't think anything needs to be redone if I were to go out or anything like that. So that's a good, what, 12 hours I think that's been on my skin. So like I said before, this powder I really love. I use it purely with Hint Beauty concealer because that's the really only base product at the moment that I use or wear. So that's also something to bear in mind. Obviously my job has now gone more sedentary than it was before, so my oils don't come through as fast as they do at the moment, although like I said, extremely hot day, so it was bound to happen anyway, but not like, I don't think it looks disgusting or anything like that on the skin. I think it looks still really nice. So I hope you found that helpful and interesting. And yeah, so I just really wanted to give this review because it was requested, and I wanted to make sure it was thorough as possible. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. If you've tried this, let me know what you think about it, and let me know your skin type, and if you're like me who uses kind of one base product really, let me know what it is and what it's kind of the texture of it's like, so we can kind of get a discussion down below of what people think it works well with in terms of foundations and like kind of skin types as well. Now this is, like I said, aimed for oily skin types, makes sense, but if you've got normal to dry skin, let me know as well your thoughts if you've tried it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.